Oh my god, guys, this is crazy. Today we're gonna look at an article about Nikki Hailey supporters not endorsing Trump. Well, I mean, just a few months ago we thought they were together, but today they're not. Haley's endorsement of Trump doesn't mean her supporters will follow her. This is pretty bad news for Donald Trump, but this is pretty good news for Kamala Harris. And I'm going to go to Texas and Florida and how her voters could entirely flip both states. This is crazy. Nikki Haley has made clear she's on Team Trump, but her supporters don't feel the same. And former state campaign chair and including Utah Lieutenant Governor declined on Monday to endorse Donald Trump. And in several cases, they're endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris. Including Iowa and Michigan. I already got the article out. It's right here. We'll get to this. But let's finish this one. Meanwhile, some Haley supporters are organizing for Harris in hopes to raise millions to spend on ads and reaching UN ambassadors. And then there are informal efforts to convince fellow disaffected Republicans to vote blue. And this is all across the country, especially in large voting blocks, in large population centers. Like I said, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, and another state which she did really well, got a lot of votes in, is North Carolina. And it's the state that Kamala Harris is leading right now. But she would take an even greater lead, well, if Nikki Haley voters really do what they say here. Most of us are pretty disgusted with Trump and thinks he will be a disaster. Most of us. Now, I don't know if this is actually representative of Nikki Haley voters, but I wouldn't be surprised because Haley voters, they are voting for the type of more classic, old school conservative rhetoric, which is definitely not something Trump is good at. So that could turn out as a disaster for Donald Trump. And going back to the same article, Haley, a Republican, has drawn voters from Trump during the primary even well after she dropped out. It's unclear how many of her Republican supporters are now backing Democrats. It may be a tiny slice, but that still could have implications for the former president. Consider how tight the 2024 presidential race is shaping up to be. It is still very tight. I know Kamala Harris is just blowing out the polls. She's outperforming expectations. She's surging in states we will never expect, like Texas and Florida. But it is still close. Don't get us wrong. It's still very, very close, especially in the battleground states. But once again, Haley's votes will turn a place like Texas and Florida, and later we'll see Iowa, a supremely tight race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Haley, in her presidential campaign, racked up, look at this, 4 million votes. That is 4 million votes. How much did Biden win Donald Trump by? I forgot. I think it's 6 million. However many. 4 million votes. Many of them coming months after she dropped out. So her voters are not tanking. Okay, a lot of them came in after she dropped out. And here's the kicker. Nearly 1 million of those come from 6 of the 7 battleground states. And that's the crazy part. Now, in that voting block, a mix of Republican, Independents, and some Democrats. Now, of course, there being a lot more Republicans and Independents that served months ago as a warning sign of Donald Trump's potential general election weakness amongst more moderate voters who play a crucial role in closing the contest between Trump and Harris. Now, I think Harris is also trying to woo them and get them to come over to her side, especially in like Pennsylvania. But the short end of the story is, now we'll get into numbers. The numbers are exciting as heaven. Because I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I have to go live because these are some shocking news. I can't keep this down. Okay, I have to go live. And yeah, let's take a look at the numbers. Okay, we'll go to Iowa. We'll see what the Iowa campaign co-chair has to say. By the way, if Kamala Harris takes Iowa, there is very few paths for Donald Trump to make a win, if at all. Okay? And Iowa State co-chair, former UN ambassador of Nikki Haley's presidential campaign, is throwing her support behind Vice President Kamala Harris for the White House, joining the ranks of Republicans nationwide, backing the Democratic presidential nominee over Donald Trump. Dawn Roberts, who considers herself a lifelong Republican, wrote in, I think, De Mones, sorry for butchering that pronunciation, that she will be supporting Harris as president after DNC. So, you see, after the DNC showdown, people are like, conventions don't matter. But it does. Conventions may not show up on the polling averages, but it changes the minds of people, especially those people who are sort of taking a back seat. They don't answer polls. They just tune in online to watch some videos. Conventions, the energy there, and had the ability to unite her party immediately. So when we say things like the debate don't matter, or the conventions don't matter, VP debates don't matter, which is happening tomorrow, and I will be live streaming the debate, my reactions going along with the debate. But we have to think about the facts of the matter, because not everyone responds to the polls. And the DNC videos, the convention videos, the clips of the debates, whether it be the presidential debate or the upcoming vice presidential debate, they will have an effect. They will have a silent effect, but it will not be silent on the ballot box. So when we say things like, conventions don't matter, whatever, it's not true. What I'm saying is it's not true, because she saw the Democratic National Convention in Chicago and she said, you know what? This convinced me. As a lifelong Republican, flip. She flips to Democrat. That's it. She looked at DNC and I was like, you know what? I like that. I like that more than what Trump has, which is chaos, fear, and hate. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. And this is, I think, in Iowa state of the chair. And by the way, we'll get to Iowa. We'll get to the map. We'll go to 270. We'll take a look at what happens when Iowa goes to Kamala Harris. But before that, let's analyze Nikki Haley's impact in our presidential race. So, by the way, according to the article just now, she has more than 1 million votes locked in the 6 out of 7 swing states. So we're going to take a look at the swing states. So let's start with Pennsylvania. So here we have Pennsylvania. Nikki Haley has 158,672 votes in her primary. Is this large or small? Well, let's take a reference at Joe Biden's performance in Pennsylvania. Joe Biden got about 3.5 million, and Donald Trump has about 3.4, not quite. And if you take a look at the numbers, this is way more than the difference between these two. So, I'm not saying Biden voters and Nikki Haley voters have no overlap, but those votes matter, right? If there's a 100, let's say we had a breakout. We had a breakout of Nikki Haley voters massively influxing for Kamala Harris. Let's say she earns about 90,000 of the 160,000, which is not even that much of a breakout, but let's say she gets 90,000. 90,000 is already... No, 90,000 is already more than the gap Biden won over Trump in 2020 in Pennsylvania, the largest swing state on the electoral map. Right? If she takes this, Donald Trump pretty much has no way to win because she's going to take the blue wall. And that's a electoral win for her. Right? And when we take a look at another state, for example, Michigan, she has almost 300,000 here. And going back to Biden's map, We go to Michigan. He did win Michigan kind of big. But if you take a look, it's only 150,000. He only won Michigan by 150,000. And guess how much Nikki Haley had? 300,000 in the primaries. So Haley voters, they are here. They are not going to go with it. They're going to have to vote for someone. And it's going to be between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. This is way more than enough to put Michigan in either candidate's hands, which is why Kamala Harris is trying to appeal to Nikki Haley voters, and she's doing the right thing by doing that. Now, for Wisconsin, you look at 76,000, you go, well, that's such a small thing compared to like 300,000 in Michigan and almost 150,000, 160,000 in Pennsylvania. But Wisconsin at 76,000, if you take a look at Biden's win in Wisconsin, this will shock you. He won by barely over 20,000. That's it. 20,000. That's what, a quarter of Nikki Haley's votes? If 20,000 of Nikki Haley votes went to Donald Trump, let's say the map is exactly as it is, which it is not, because Kamala Harris is outperforming Joe Biden in many, many polls. Not every poll, but in many polls. But let's say it's the same. 20,000, if 20,000 of this Nikki Haley votes break out, which means they went in addition to Donald Trump, Trump could take Wisconsin. Right? This could happen, by the way. Some polls do show Trump either even or even ahead. So, Emerson College, in fact, one of the 3-star pollsters, Emerson College, recently showed Trump being +1 in Wisconsin. Sorry. I don't believe that. I think Kamala Harris got Wisconsin. But again, if Nikki Haley voters, just 20,000 of them, just 20,000, when breakout for Donald Trump, he could take Wisconsin. And this is not good because if he takes Wisconsin, Kamala Harris has to do this. Because otherwise, she loses Arizona and Nevada. If she doesn't do this and gives Donald Trump either Pennsylvania or North Carolina, she loses. So Wisconsin is a state she must not lose. It's part of the blue wall. She must not lose. And then, well, that's only 3 out of the 7 swing states. But more importantly, we'll get to Texas and Florida. We'll get to it. More importantly is this thing. I never expected this. But this is the truth. Let's take a look at North Carolina. Look at the number of Nikki Haley voters here. Look at it. Appreciate that. 250,000 votes. That's 250,000 votes went to Nikki Haley. In North Carolina, where Kamala Harris is, according to many polls, leading the state. And guess by how much? By how much Biden lost North Carolina in 2020. Let's take a look. He lost by less than 100,000 votes. Less than 100,000. And when you look at Haley, she's got 250,000 in North Carolina. And now, Kamala Harris is outperforming Biden's performance in North Carolina. North Carolina she's already outperforming him anyway. And on top of that, Nikki Haley voters are now saying, you know what? I'm no longer for Trump. I may not vote for Harris, but I'm not for Trump. And some of them are actively for Harris. They're campaigning. They're going to their neighbors. They're trying to raise money for Harris. All we need is some absentee ballots from Nikki Haley and just a bit more from her side going to Kamala Harris, and she's pretty much taking North Carolina. And we have seen, if Kamala Harris takes North Carolina, Donald Trump virtually has no path to victory, because if he takes Pennsylvania, Georgia, he has to take Arizona and Nevada. So he has to take all 4, or Michigan, right? If he doesn't, if she takes Wisconsin, Michigan, and Nevada, boom, she doesn't even need Pennsylvania. Which, by the way, Kamala Harris has been consistently leading in Pennsylvania, but she doesn't need it. If Donald Trump loses North Carolina, it's practically over. There's I don't see a path. Neko, what if? When the election started, I didn't think we had a chance to win North Carolina. I'll be honest, but after the scandal, I think we have a good chance. Loser Trump. Look, thank you so much, What If Neko and Dennis Hanno. Sorry, I couldn't get your name right. You're right. Because when you look at Biden's number, you're like, okay, it's trending blue. But it's like, where are you gonna get the votes from, right? Because you look at all the urban areas, he's doing pretty good around the urban areas. I'm like, okay, where can he make a breakout play? Can he flip this place? Because this place only accounts for 2,000 more votes, right? And then maybe he can flip Scotland, which makes up less than 300 votes either way. And I'm just thinking, okay, how is Kamala Harris going to take North Carolina? The edge is close. But then we have to also think about, okay, what is she gonna do to take North Carolina? And there we go. We got this. Nikki Hailey voters supporting Harris, right? In other cases, they're endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris over Trump. Some Haley supporters organizing to raise millions for Kamala Harris, and others involved in informal efforts to convince fellow disaffected Republicans to vote blue. Many of us are disgusted with Trump and thinks he's a disaster. And you see, like, when we go back to North Carolina, that's 250,000 votes. We don't need all that much. And by the way, again, she's already outperforming Biden. If the election were to be held today, she might still lose, but she'll probably lose at like 273 instead of 268. She'll probably be losing at like 2,730,000 votes. Like, that's the margin. If it were to be held today, whether or not she wins or lose, the margin is going to be like 20,000, 30,000, at most 50,000 votes. At most. And Nikki Hailey has 250,000 in her hands at the primaries. That is the crazy thing. John Martin. Let's hope Cruz loses big time in the Senate race, and that will be dream come true. That could actually happen. And in fact, let's go to Florida. We'll go to Texas. Texas is the big one. Oh my God. But we'll get to Florida. So Florida right now, Biden did kind of bad in Florida. Well, kind of bad, but not really, because Biden did lose by about 3.3%, which is not a huge margin, 3.3%. But when it comes to the votes, he lost by about 300,000 plus. And when you look at what Haley's got, it may seem like, well, even if all the votes went to Nikki Haley, it wouldn't be enough. But you have to remember, in 2020, abortion wasn't on ballot. Roe v. Wade was not overturned in 2020. And now Roe v. Wade was overturned. And whatever Trump and Vance said about Haitian immigrants, and whatever Trump said about mass deportation, all of these things. Okay, let's take a look at Florida right now. Let's take a look at the polls. Okay, we'll ignore these ones because they're partisan. That's the rule on my channel. I don't care if they're for me or against me. If they're partisan, we ignore them. Donald Trump, according to Victory Insight and Bullfinch Group, which I covered yesterday in a live stream, +1, +2, right? Even in the worst ones, +5. In other ones, +3. He's somewhere around +2, +2.5 points right now. And I'm just saying, okay, if Haley voters, if Caribbean voters, if Haitian voters, which make up about, I think, was it 500,000 people in Florida, those are massive numbers, right? Imagine that 500,000 and 155. Okay, those Haitian voters were probably not voting for Nikki Haley in the primaries. I don't know, maybe. But let's say 300,000 of the 500,000 Haitian immigrants are now saying, you know what, we're for Harris, which is kind of a low number. But we'll just lowball the number. And let's say 80,000 of Nikki Haley voters are going like, okay, actually, we're going for Harris, which again, it's only about half. We lowball this number. We get women and the youth. We lowball all these numbers. Are you telling me if the points between them is now at 2%. Are you telling me those 300,000 votes together will not flip the scale of Florida? Are you telling me it's an impossibility? Because before this, I was like, Florida, no, that's not possible. Abu Khalid Ali, Trump says he wants to deport you. Yeah, not me. I never said that. He wants to deport Muslims. He wants to deport Haitians. He wants to deport the Latinos. He wants to mass deport indiscriminately. Okay, not me. Abu Kali. Okay, not me. So you vote for yourself. You vote for yourself. I do think it's possible that we win Florida. Yeah, Ron DeSantis, but I think they really regretted Ron DeSantis again because of the abortion, 6-week abortion ban, and they're really pissed off with Ron DeSantis, which is why if you take a look, Ron DeSantis got 3.7% in Florida. What if he got 3.7? Wasn't he a governor or a senator of Florida before this? I think he was a governor. And he was born in Florida too. At one point, people were like, Ron DeSantis could become the GOP's candidate. Remember, at one point, people were like, Ron DeSantis could replace Trump. But guess what? After he did the 6-week abortion ban, what happens? Look at what happened to Ron DeSantis. 3.7%. Look, he might as well be the Jill Stein of Florida. Horrible numbers. And again, Nikki Haley voters, plus Haitian voters, plus Hispanic voters, plus women voters, plus young voters. You look at the margins here, which Harris is already outperforming. She's probably at like 540,000 here. So she needs to close the gap by about 250,000. She has enough. If Nikki Haley voters went for a breakout for Kamala Harris in Florida, she could flip the state. Absolutely. She could absolutely flip the state. Now, that's not the craziest part. The craziest part is in the state of Texas. And Texas is actually one of the few states. Imagine my shock. I'm shocked. One of the few states where Nikki Haley actually won a county. I think it's Kent County. She got a very small win. It's a very small county. But look at the totals for this state. Let me go back to Texas. She's got 400,000 votes in her hands in Texas. And you think we couldn't flip Texas? Now, it's going to be a hard fight. Don't get me wrong. I think it's still very much unlikely. I'm not saying it's very likely, but look at 400,000 votes. At that point, they're only down. By the way, Biden was down by, 5 points? More than 5 points. If you take a look at the polls, I'll take a look at the polls. Let's go to... Where's Texas? Let's go to Texas. Texas. There we go. So if you take a look, at best, and by the way, Emerson College is a 3-star poster. Oh, what did I do? I clicked. Okay, we'll go back. Emerson College is the 3-star poster. So as early as small as 3 points to 6 points. That's the margin. So as of now, by the way, Kamala Harris is about 3.5, 4 points away from Donald Trump, and Biden was, I think, more than 5 points away. So in actuality, if the election were to be held today, according to the poll, I'm not saying the poll is 100% accurate. It will be something like 400,000, maybe 430,000 votes. 5,430,000 votes. And in between them, it's less than Nikki Haley's votes. I'm not saying all of them is going to go for Kamala Harris, but even if, let's say, 250,000 of them went to Kamala Harris, she would still lose the state. Don't get me wrong, she would still lose the state in this analysis, but she will lose the state by about or even less than 100,000 votes in Texas. In Texas, not factoring the women's votes and the 6-week abortion ban in Texas, look, and not factoring the fact that all these major cities, they're turning wildly blue at rapid paces. Like all of these things, again, I don't think Texas is going to flip. But the thing is, we have to remember, anything could happen. And this news only came out like yesterday. When was the date? This news only came out yesterday. The Hailey voters are now on the ground and they're organizing themselves to go for Kamala Harris. And if Texas goes down to a 1.5 point win for Donald Trump, it's going to be a blue tsunami over the country. It's going to be a blue tsunami. If that happens, Florida could go to Kamala Harris. I'm not even kidding. If Texas is 1.5 points winning for Donald Trump on election day, Florida could go to Kamala Harris. Zero exaggerations. And going to, again, Iowa. Ha! Iowa, let's go. Look at this insanity. Nikki Hailey actually won Iowa City by 1 vote. She won Iowa City. Okay? And let's zoom out. Let's go to... And again, Iowa is actually one of the places Ron DeSantis was ahead. Remember we're talking about Ron DeSantis? But Nikki Hailey was the person who had actually won anything at all as a county, and she won Iowa City. And when we take a look at the polls, oh, sorry, I'm burping. I just ate something. We look at Iowa. Where is it? There we go. Latest poll shows Donald Trump being up by 4. Now let's take a look at how much Biden lost Iowa. Biden lost Iowa by by more than 100,000. By like what, 9 points? But right now, Kamala Harris, according to some of the better polls, is only down 4 points. She has closed the gap by half. And we look at Hailey voters right here. Let's zoom out. Hailey voters, she's got 21,000 votes in Iowa. That is enough to close in Iowa. What happens when Kamala Harris takes Iowa? Well, this happens. She takes Iowa, and if Donald Trump makes a huge electoral win of Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, guess what? He still loses the election if he loses Iowa. Right? If he loses Iowa, he loses the election. So when we say things like, well, Iowa is a lost cause. Okay, let's take a look at something else. We don't have to be pessimistic because we have to look at the numbers. Let's not be pessimistic. Oh, by the way, she won Vermont. I don't think we're going to lose Vermont. But she won Vermont. So that's something. She has a base of support. So when you look at, let's look at the overall. I think overall she got like 12% of the country. And she's running as Donald Trump, a very strong candidate. She outperformed, I think, Ron DeSantis. So that's something to consider. Another thing, look at South Carolina. She won Columbia. Okay, she won Richland. She won Columbia. She won Charlestown. This is South Carolina. This is not North Carolina. South Carolina. Okay, let's take a look at the polls for South Carolina. South Carolina. We have no polls at all in South Carolina, at all. So actually, we don't know. And by the way, according to them, Hailey is leading Biden by 16 points. So, and she's down to Trump by about how much? She's down to Trump by about 7 points, but that's not the correct comparison. But nevertheless, Hailey and Trump are decently close in North Carolina. And that's what we see when we take a look at South Carolina. Nikki Haley. Let's go to Nikki Haley. 40%. Nikki Haley has 40% of South Carolina. And South Carolina right now has no polls for either Trump or Kamala Harris. No polls. Ever since Kennedy dropped out, no polls at all. We don't know anything about South Carolina. What do I think is going to happen to the Republican Party when they can't run with Trump? Honestly, they're going to dissolve. They are going to be... They're going to have to dissolve. That's what happens. Because Kamala Harris will win. And the MAGAs will be so pissed off with the GOP. They're probably not going to go for them. And the GOP has no candidates. They got Vivek Ramaswamy. They got RFK. They got Nikki Haley. Look, none of them is able to compete with Kamala Harris or worse yet, Tim Walz. Are they gonna? I'm gonna live stream tomorrow's VP debate between Walz and Vance. I'm gonna tell you, it's a landslide. It will be a landslide. And South Carolina again. She has 40% of the votes of South Carolina. South Carolina is not polled at all. And what happens? Let's say in the wildest of our dreams. Let's take an analysis. What happens if South Carolina goes to Kamala Harris? Well, I think it's very dead. Because, again, if Donald Trump takes Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, and Nevada, in this case, Kamala Harris still wins. If South Carolina... Look, if South Carolina goes to Kamala Harris, so will North Carolina. Seriously. Because she's good with the two Carolinas. If Kamala Harris takes these two, it's over. All she needs to do is to take Pennsylvania, which she is leading in. That's it. She wins. She don't need all the other... She don't need Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. No. If she takes South Carolina, I'm not saying she will. But according to... Again, let's take a look at Nikki Haley's number. She's got 40%. 40 in South Carolina. I think this is the closest state that Nikki Haley came to winning. Nikki Haley almost won against Donald Trump in the primaries in South Carolina. This is a deep red state. I'm praying for a monumental Kamala Harris win. Well, yeah, I am too, but I'm not praying. I'm telling y'all, go vote. Because prayers, they ain't votes. They don't count. But thank you so much, John Martin from New Zealand. Love you so much. Again, South Carolina, no one's talking about South Carolina. I am. Because Nikki Haley is booming in South Carolina, and her voters are dumping Donald Trump. So in this case, again, if Trump loses South Carolina, he's going to lose North Carolina. And he's exactly 19 points away from losing the election, which is one state of Pennsylvania or any other two states other than Nevada or Arizona. So this is not looking good. This is definitely not looking good for Donald Trump. And again, if you go to Florida, 150,000 votes in her hands. Go to Texas, 400,000 votes. Both states are rapidly trending blue. I think in Georgia, she's not doing very well. In Georgia, she's got only very few votes. But again, Georgia is one of the states that's coming back to blue already. So, and if you think 77,000 don't matter, let me remind you how much Biden won Georgia. 11,780 votes. That is the margin. Biden won Georgia by less than 12,000 votes. And Nikki Haley has almost 80,000 of those votes. So if you think, well, she lost big time. Oh, she lost big time. She's a loser. She lost big time. Well, 80,000 compared to 12,000, that's quite the lead. So we can't even count her out. Every state she's in, she's got votes in. Look, if Haley voters went for it, not even a breakout, just a tad in favor of Kamala Harris, which she is according to the article from Politico, They are saying, you know what? I'm raising millions for her. I'm going down to others are involved in more informal efforts to convince fellow disaffected Republicans to vote blue. So there's things on the ground right now that's not in the polls. You won't find that in the polls. No poll asks the question, are you going around to campaign to your neighbors for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? No one's polling that question. We don't see that coming in polls. And that's what's happening on the ground everywhere. And here's the thing. If Kamala Harris takes Georgia and North Carolina, which she's winning in North Carolina anyway, and Nikki Haley voters, if they make the slightest of effort, that, and again, Kamala Harris is also appealing to them, if only a small slice of them goes to her, she takes both. And guess what? It's gone. It's just gone. Like, because she already has Michigan in her bag, that's for sure. We don't need to know Pennsylvania. If she takes North Carolina and Georgia, Donald Trump just loses. It's over. Donald Trump has virtually no pathway to victory. Looking at the accuracy of some of these polls, Trump ahead, Patriot polling 1.3. Yeah, look, the Republican pollsters are flooding the aggregate. I mean, just bogus. Let me show you one bogus poll, okay? I think it was Atlas polls. Just garbage. Just straight up garbage, okay? Let's go to the front page. You know what? Let me Google. Oh, VP debate. I'm gonna watch that. Where to get? Okay, I'm gonna Google. 538 is right here. 538 forecast. We're gonna take a look at some of these garbage posters. All right, garbage posters. We got. Let's go to Wisconsin. Atlas Intel. +2 for Trump. Okay, +2 for Trump. We go to Michigan. +3 for Trump. I'm not gonna say it. Are you dumb? In Michigan, like every single other poll, we got +5, even +8, +5, +5, +4, +3. And New York Times even. Atlas Intel, +3 Trump in Michigan. Really? Like, what are some of these garbage polls? You look at Pennsylvania. Let's go look at Pennsylvania. Trafalgar, +3 for her. Oh no, for him. You look at all the other polls in Pennsylvania, she's winning. It's all blue all the way. And no, but that's not the worst thing. That's not the worst thing about Atlas Intel. If you go to Atlas Intel's evaluation of North Carolina, she's winning by 4, +4. That's according to them. Okay. She's also winning in Georgia, according to them. In Georgia, she's winning. No, she's even, okay? And this is the worst one. In Arizona, everyone else is saying Harris is losing big time. And they're like, well, she's only losing by 1 point. Okay? And by the way, I think it's in Nevada, they say Harris is up by 3. Okay. So this is what they're saying. This is their map. They're saying Donald Trump is gonna take all of the blue wall, and then Kamala Harris will take these ones. Yeah, this is their prediction. You know, if they're one state off, that's their prediction. That's Atlas Intel. SoCal is so rubbish. It's garbage. It's pure garbage. This is their prediction. Atlas Intel. What the hell? Like, what type of garbage are they doing? It's completely opposite of every other poll. And they're flooding the aggregates. And they're pulling our numbers down. Remember this number was like 64 like 1 or 2 weeks ago. Now it's 57. They're trying to pull her numbers down. But you know what? That's not going to matter. Because in the end, polls don't decide electoral victory. Votes do. That's it. And according to the voters, according to Nikki Haley voters, she's going to win Georgia for Kamala Harris. she is going to win North Carolina for Kamala Harris. She's going to secure the win in Wisconsin for Kamala Harris. And that's enough. That's already enough. She's going to take Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Michigan. That's it. Way more than she needs. Donald Trump can have the rest. He can have Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada. Doesn't matter. If she wins Georgia and North Carolina, which Nikki Hailey is stupidly strong in. And by the way, just saying, I'm not saying she's gonna do this, okay? But there is a possibility according to Nikki Hailey voters in South Carolina. Let's go to South Carolina. She's got 40% votes here. So, and we have no polling status, 0 polls in South Carolina, no polls at all. We don't know what's going on there. Nobody, not even one star pollster has a poll in South Carolina. Everyone thinks it's a gone case. But let's say some crazy things happen. She takes the entirety of the East Coast, except Florida, which she could take. Now she takes Nevada. She wins. Yeah, she wins. She can lose the entire blue wall plus Arizona. She wins. If this happens, I'm not saying this will happen. I never said it will happen, but it could happen. And again, she could take Iowa because Nikki Hailey, again, she did pretty well in Iowa. She actually, Ron DeSantis did better, but she won a county in Iowa. And people, Nikki Haley's Iowa campaign co-chair is endorsing Kamala Harris for president. And in combination with what Donald Trump said about Haitian immigrants, all these other things, look, I'm just considering the possibility Iowa could go to Kamala Harris. Maybe, if this... Look, the funniest version of our timeline is this. Appreciate this. This is the funniest timeline. You know, if this happens, this is even better than winning Texas and Florida. This is even better than winning Texas and Florida. This is, I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say. If this happens, I got nothing to say. And by the way, again, if she takes Florida, she takes Michigan, which she is taking, that's a win. We don't need anything else. We don't need Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. We don't need them. If she wins Florida, she takes Michigan, which she already has. She wins. If somehow she takes Texas, she takes Nevada. That's a win. No. Again, I'm gonna go for the humor. I'm gonna go for the comedic effect. Okay. If she takes Texas and Iowa, Donald Trump can take all 7 swing states and he will still lose. This will be the funniest timeline. Is this possible? Is this likely? No, hell, this is very unlikely. But could this happen? I don't know because again, Kamala Harris is surging hard in Texas and Florida, in Iowa and Ohio. Look, she's surging in all 4 places. She's surging in South Carolina. She's surging in Alaska, and she's not only surging, she flipped Maine. But let's keep her only lean Republican. This is the map we're looking at. And there were news about Virginia turning red. Okay, well let's take a look. Let's take a look at what Haley did in Virginia. Let's take a look at Virginia. 35% of the votes. Let's see how many counties she won. Let's do the account. She won Arlington. Oh, Arlington. You guys remember what happened in Arlington? She won Arlington. She won what is it? Falls Church. She won Alexandria. That's 1, 2, 3. Fairfax. She won Fairfax County as a whole. So that's 5 over here. She won 5 counties. That's 1 Albemarle. And then inside Charlottesville, so that's 7. Richmond is another one she won, another county she won. Let's take a look. Williamsburg is another county, that's 9. Did I miss out anything? There's 1 small yellow dot here, and that is Lexington. She won 10 counties in Virginia. Nikki Haley, 10 counties in Virginia. And people are like, oh no, Donald Trump is going to flip Virginia. No. He's not going to flip Virginia. Not only is that not going to happen, Kamala Harris could flip South Carolina. Yeah, she could. There's no polling in South Carolina at all. We don't know what's going on. And yeah, that is the fact of the matter. She could. This is the map right now. This is the map. And Michigan, I'm already calling it from Kamala Harris. This is the map. If you want me to be honest, this is what it is. And if I were to be extra mean, I would say this goes to Kamala Harris. Yeah, and this is the map Republicans, Donald Trump has to deal with. At this point, they can't lose anything. They just can't lose anything. All these lean red, all these likely reds, they can't lose any. They lose Alaska. That's it. Wisconsin, boom, 270. They can't lose. They can't lose any of the leans, and they better win at least five, it's 4 or 3 out of 5 states. And again, if he loses anything as big as Ohio, that's immediately over. If he loses anything as big as Florida, that's over. Right? All of these are just, it's a horrible map for Republicans to look at. This is just a horrible map. She could take, if she takes Georgia, that's a win. That's already a win. Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia. Republicans are just so strapped right now. They are so strapped. I'll put Arizona. You know, I'll give Arizona to Republicans. This is the map. This is the map we're looking at. And if you want me to be Republican, I would tell you I would just throw in the towel. Because there's no way. Right, exactly. I'm actually aware of reality. Right? Like those far right ones. You know, this is the numbers. Guys, I am Democrat biased, okay? I'm pro Kamala Harris, okay? I admit that. But despite my bias, if we look at the numbers, this is what it looks like. This is the numbers, okay? You know what? Let's be even nicer. Let's not give her North Carolina because it puts her too close to victory. Okay, this is what it looks like right now. Arizona goes to Donald Trump. Michigan goes to Kamala Harris. Everything else, there are advantages and disadvantages. And then all these other supposedly deep red states are not deep red, including South Carolina and Alaska. These are not deep red. Iowa and Ohio, they're rapidly trending blue. Florida on the verge of winning for Kamala Harris. On the verge of flipping. Texas, even if it doesn't flip, will come down to 1 and 2 points winning for Trump. This is the reality. This is the reality. I'm not trying to be sensationalizing everything else. Yes, Kansas. Alvarado, thank you for commenting. Thank you for the reply. Greg, Brady, no. Florida, I don't agree. Florida is trending blue like crazy. All the polls, every single poll, red leaning ones, blue leaning ones, all shows Kamala Harris trending crazy. We got 4 more weeks, more than 4 weeks. And as we get closer to the election date, it's going to get tighter and tighter exponentially. Texas, maybe not. Maybe you're right. Yeah, I didn't say it would. It's a possibility. We can't discount that possibility. Is all I'm saying. Just like we can't discount the possibility of Donald Trump taking Pennsylvania. We can't discount that probability. You know, we have to be honest and you say, you know what, actually, for as much as Kamala Harris is winning in almost every reputable poll in Pennsylvania for the longest time, let's do 538. Let's go to 538. Let's go to Pennsylvania. Okay, let's go to Pennsylvania. We look at the trend lines. She has not been losing. Even at the closest day, they're only tied. She hasn't been losing Pennsylvania since August 8th. Since August 8th. We're in October right now. And she hasn't lost a single day in Pennsylvania. At this rate, if I were to be biased, and I am biased, like I said, I'm biased, I would call Pennsylvania. But I'm not. I'm just saying, no, but Donald Trump actually still has a chance. Because 4 weeks is a lot of time. He still has a chance to come back in Pennsylvania. You think Florida's goner? We don't know. We don't know because women, young voters, And again, Nikki Hailey voters, I think you missed a huge chunk. You missed a huge chunk of the live stream. You can watch it on playback. I appreciate your input, but I wouldn't be so pessimistic. Look at that. And again, look at the polls. Look at the polls for Florida. Let's go to Florida. Where's for Florida? Is right here. It's like edging closer and closer and closer and closer, right? And then in Florida, you see all the polls. The worst poll is +5. The best poll is +1. I covered this yesterday on a live stream. This is the reality. I'm just presenting y'all the reality. Don't get mad at the messenger. Florida right now is lean red. Even according to 538. If you don't believe me, if you think I'm just spouting nonsense, guess what's right below the 7 swing states? Boom, Florida. What's right below Florida? Boom, Texas. I'm not speaking nonsense. It's just the numbers. It's just the numbers. And again, this is the map. Appreciate this map. And on this map, again, if Kamala Harris flips Florida, it's immediately over. If Kamala Harris flips Ohio, she takes like North Carolina, that's over. Right? And if she takes, let's give North Carolina back to toss-up. If she takes Iowa, my internet is lagging. Come on, Iowa, go blue. There we go. She wins Pennsylvania. And Nevada. She can lose Wisconsin. North Carolina, Georgia. She still wins. And people are saying, no, it's not possible they should take Iowa. No. No, not according to the numbers. No, I don't agree. I agree with the numbers. And again, if she takes something like Arizona, okay, let's give Arizona to Donald Trump. Let's just give it to him, okay? If she takes Alaska, and people know she's not going to take Alaska. Yes, according to the numbers, she could. If she takes Alaska, she takes these two, that's a win, right? I think she doesn't even need that. I think she can forsake one of the North Carolina, and she's winning. She can win like this. She takes Wisconsin, Georgia, and Alaska, or better yet, she takes Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Alaska. She wins. That's the reality. Am I saying she will? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But here's my statement. Okay, guys, listen. Here's my statement. I'm calling the statement. Okay, I'm going to read your conversations before I go to my statement. Okay? They should do a poll in Kansas. I'll address that. Let's take a look at how Nikki Hailey is doing in Kansas. I don't think she's doing very well. But Kansas and Tennessee, they're going rapidly blue. I don't think they're going to flip blue, but they could come in play at Missouri too. Yeah, we're not mad at you. Thank you, John Marty. I know you're not mad at me. I'm just saying, like, some people, especially in my comments, are like, bro, you're a liberal left-wing propagandist troll. I'm not trolling. These are the numbers. I'm not trolling nobody. And they're just like so mad at like you're a propagandist. No. Can you go to the website that I went to and take a look at the numbers yourself? I'm not trolling. I'm not trolling anyone. It would be funny if she wins because of Alaska. Look, it's very likely. Okay, not very likely. Sorry, I misspoke. It's not very likely, but again, let's go to the map. If she takes Alaska, Nevada, which is winning, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. In fact, actually, she don't need Nevada. This is a valid pathway to victory. This is a valid path. I'm telling you. She takes North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Alaska. This is a valid path to victory. It will be funny though. It will be actually pretty funny, and it's not impossible. Alaska survey research. Let's go to Alaska survey research. I'll show you a poll right now. I'll pull it right up. That's what live is for. You can ask me a question. I will do it right now on the live. Let's go to Alaska. Alaska survey research puts Trump in the margin of error, in the lean column, +5. These guys, They were so good with that 2020 prediction. They were decimal points off when it came to Alaska. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Guys, I disconnected. I'm so sorry. Guys, did I disconnect? I'm so sorry. I think I disconnected. But never mind. Let's get back. Let's not complain. Let's go back to Alaska. Alaska survey research within the margin of error. This is the fact. This is the fact of the matter. Right, let me refresh the page. This is the fact of the matter. Alaska is in play. Texas is in play. Florida is very much in play. So we take these back. We take these back. That's one path to victory. No worries. Yeah, I'm not buffering. I think I disconnected. My internet just like died for a moment. So sorry about that. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know what happened. But I'm back. Thank you for staying. You guys are awesome. And I love the fact they're asking me questions because I can do it right now. Okay, ask me anything. I will just pull up the polls. I'll pull up the research. I'll pull up the studies. We can look at the crosstabs. I mean, we can go ham. We can go crazy. Tomorrow I'm doing the VP debate live stream. What was my debate? What was my prediction in 2016? I predicted Donald Trump win. Because I really dislike Hillary Clinton. I feel like she really didn't have it at the time, and I was very young. I was kind of like a quote unquote manosphere guy. But never mind that, but okay, look, I was right about every single election. I was right twice about Obama. I was right about Hillary Clinton losing. I was right about Joe Biden winning. This could be my 5th time doing a correct prediction. And if Kamala Harris wins, this is my 5th election in a row that I got it correct. Not bragging, but hey, that's all I'm telling you. That's not all I'm telling you. And this is the map. Again, let's come back to the map. What are her pathways to victory? She could win again if she wins Ohio. I mean that's bad. That's just bad. She takes North Carolina, she wins. This is the fact. Again, I'm not trying to make anyone look bad. I'm not trying to say she's gonna take it. She takes South Carolina. I mean that's painful, right? She takes South Carolina, North Carolina, and Nevada. Boom, that's a win. If Donald Trump loses South Carolina, he loses. You see, there's so many pathways to victory. Given this map, there's just insanely many paths to victory. Like, what is Donald Trump going to do about it? She could literally, like, go campaign in South Carolina, fly to Anchorage and do, like, some, like, 1-hour speech at Alaska, do a 1-day bus tour. She don't even got to, like, campaign in Texas. Just do a bus tour. Just tour. Make Texas 2 points and make Trump worry. Make him spend money counter-campaigning. Texas is a huge state, and he's running out of money right now. So, you know, yeah, it's crazy. My question, sir, or anyone is, are you guys involved with the campaign? I'm not. I wish Kamala Harris will pay me to campaign for her. At least I wouldn't be broke. Do you think the Republicans will be able to pass the bill in Georgia to make all ballots hand counted? No. I saw that. I was like, nope. Dude, even the conservative Supreme Court judge, or was it the high judge in Georgia, and you know, he's like, do you guys know that's illegal? Like, that's literally illegal. You can't pass that law. That law is illegal. No, she's campaigning way more than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is golfing. Donald Trump is freaking golfing, bro. Like, when is he gonna go campaign? He's not even campaigning. And his campaigns are all just horrible. People are leaving. His crowd sizes are dwindling. I mean, if there's a second presidential debate, I think he's losing even harder, because he's losing steam, bro. Like, he's really just tanking. He's tanking. One last recap. This is the electoral map. Given Hailey vote, okay, I'm gonna call it. because the live stream is reaching about an hour right now. I'm gonna cut right on the hour. So final call, factoring Nikki Haley voters, factoring all the polls we're seeing right now, all the numbers. This is the map, and I'm gonna make a call. I'm gonna call every single state. I think Kamala Harris will take Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Georgia, and Pennsylvania, and Nevada. She will lose Arizona, come very close to winning Florida, come somewhat close to winning Texas, puts Alaska, Iowa, Ohio, and South Carolina into the lean column. This, guys, will be my 2024 presidential election prediction as of recording 1st October. And I project Kamala Harris will win the presidency and become the 47th president of the United States of America with 308 electoral votes. This will be my forecast for today. And for all of you joining in today, thank you guys for watching. And lastly, remember, vote no matter what the polls say. And lastly, God bless America.